Well, it seems to be blizzarding outside. Well, I guess there's nothing else to do than to show you guys my top 10 games on the Steam Deck OLED that I simply cannot live without. Now, number 10 is Dead Space 1. This is a game that I always put on every desktop computer that I own, every console, every handheld device, mainly because I love survival horror and everything that comes from it. And one of the games being Dead Space. And yes, EA Games doesn't make games like this anymore. Number 9 is Sonic Unleashed. This is a game, even when the PC port didn't magically release on Linux and PC, I was still emulating the Xbox 360 version and playing this religiously. I find this to be easily one of the most rewarding Sonic games ever made, and on the Steam Deck, all of the customization to the FPS and TDP work hand in hand to bring one of the best experience for Sonic Unleashed on a handheld PC or Linux device like the Steam Deck. And number 8 is Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. Ghost Recon Wildlands is one of those games on Steam Deck that requires the full 15-watt TDP to play it. But it's also a third-person shooter that I haven't completed just yet, but I always love tinkering and dabbling in the world of Ghost Recon Wildlands. I find the possibilities of this vast open world with any customizable weapon that you want to be intriguing at the very least. Just the openness of this game gives you vibes that Metal Gear Solid 5 could only aspire to. The combat is okay. That's where games like The Phantom Pain do a lot better, but Wildlands for the most part has fantastic co-op gameplay, as well as any weapon or customization you could ever dream of. This game is wild. And number 7 is Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. This collection has most of the Marvel games that I grew up to know and love, like Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. Not sure about the Punisher. Actually, this X-Men game is not half bad, but the main game I go to is Marvel vs. Capcom 2 New Age of Heroes. I get to pick my favorite trio, Wolverine, and any other character I like. If there were 3 Wolverines, I would pick 3. But playing this late at night with the trackpad set to the D-pad is amazing. I absolutely love playing this game specifically on the Steam Deck for its trackpad capabilities and the fact that you can turn them into buttons and D-pads. It's absolutely amazing. And number 6 is Resident Evil 5. This, as well as Ghost Recon Wildlands, is one of the best co-op games I've played in recent memory, and I continue to play this over and over again with friends and family, specifically because Steam added a split screen mode last year, and after they added that update, I just can't stop going back to this game. Out of any action-adventure co-op game I've ever played, Resident Evil 5 is among the best of them, and it's simply ageless. And number 5 has got to be Prototype 1. This is one of those special games that I had to download a specific Proton version just to get to work, but at the end of the day, the OLED Steam Deck plays this game so much better than the first one because of its slightly faster RAM, and also Prototype 1 just looks insane with this OLED screen. Even at 720p, this is one of the best games I've ever played on the Steam Deck OLED. But this game is pretty simple. You're an unstoppable force trying to find out exactly who he is. You have the power to turn into anyone, along with different types of abilities that allow you to destroy any individual in your way. Number 4 is Sonic Adventure 2, because it's the game that got me into video games. It's the first game I ever collected every single collectible in, and I'm still waiting for a remake of this game, but it's my favorite Sonic game ever made. And yes, my favorite Sonic game is a modern title, and not one of the originals. I'm one of those new age Sonic fans. But yeah, I can't go anywhere without this game. If I don't have it, I'm not happy. As simple as that. And number 3 is Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge pretty much plays perfectly on the Steam Deck OLED, and it looks absolutely amazing. Similar to the Nintendo Switch OLED's version of Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge, this game with the OLED screen is just a match made in heaven, And this is such a replayable Ninja Gaiden game, more so than Ninja Gaiden 2 in my opinion, because the storyline for this is pretty straightforward. You just go in and kill everyone. That's about it. That's all you have to do as Ninja Gaiden in this game. There's nothing too taxing. You don't really need to get any kind of keys or open any specific doors like you did in Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2. But with Ninja Gaiden 3, you can just simply go in, kick some ass, and then leave. This is one of the best handheld action hack and slash games I've ever played because of that factor. And number 2 is none other than Marvel's Spider-Man 1. I think this is the best Spider-Man game in the series, and as you can see, I replayed the hell out of this game in every single difficulty. This is one of the few games that I 100%ed, and you can see the main reason right here. You can play with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man suit, which is some of my favorite superhero movies of all time, and that's counting Avengers Infinity War. Spider-Man has always been near and dear to my heart, and this game encapsulates everything I've ever loved about Spider-Man into one 19-hour storyline involving Mary Jane, Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Dr. Octavius. This is one of the best Spider-Man stories I've ever played through or listened to or seen, and it's all in the palm of my hands with the option of turning on HDR on my Steam Deck OLED. And number 1 is a game that has never let me down, and that I've always played whenever I wasn't feeling too good, and at the end of the day, I felt so much better playing it. It's Resident Evil 2 Remake. I put over 400 hours into this game, and it only takes about 8 hours to beat both storylines. Recently, I did a full 3-hour playthrough just playing through this game with only one charge on my Steam Deck OLED. And I didn't do it to prove that the Steam Deck OLED could last more than 4 hours playing a modern game like Resident Evil 2 Remake. I simply did it because I wanted to, because I love this game so much. I've recently played it and I'm playing it again right after that 4-hour playthrough. And it's mainly because I can finally play Resident Evil 2 Remake definitively anywhere that I ever wanted to play it. On the toilet, at work, on the train, in my car, anywhere and everywhere. And I absolutely love the fact that I have the opportunity to play games like this on the go with an OLED screen nonetheless. But Resident Evil 2 Remake was one of the games I called out from work to play. It's a video game that reignited my love for survival horror and for Resident Evil. Sure, Resident Evil 7 came out, and that game was pretty dang good, but Resident Evil 2 Remake was absolutely perfect, and there's nothing better than it, in my opinion. Even Resident Evil 4 Remake, for me, isn't better than Resident Evil 2 Remake, but who cares about that? This one is my favorite game in the series. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching me list off all of my favorite games of all time on the Steam Deck OLED that I simply cannot live without. If you want to see any other list videos, let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good one. Later.